Damn it. There we go. That's all he's going to do for the rest of the season. This is all you're going to do for the rest of the season. This. Woke up. I didn't even remember the game yesterday. I didn't even think about Liverpool when I woke up today. I woke up like 30 minutes ago. I woke up late. I had a hard time falling asleep. But then, second, the second I really was awake, sitting on the toilet, 5 minutes after actually waking up, I was reminded of Liverpool Football Club by seeing my hat laying on my desk. And then I was reminded of all the copium that I saw immediately after the game. And then I saw that YouTube decided to age restrict my post-game analysis. Fair. Fair to YouTube. I said a lot of bad words. I also put the word castrated in the title. Probably not smart in hindsight. Probably not very smart in hindsight. But I'll tell you what was smart. When we sat here in October and we said, it's time to go. What was smart was when we sat here in October and we said this.
It's time to go!
That's what was smart. You know, there's a certain quality in a person that I really appreciate, not just in football. There's a quality of a person in life that I appreciate. And it's the ability to preemptively predict. I like someone who can take initiative. You know, I like someone who can see 3 steps down the road, right? I think it is the most important quality for all human beings in everything in life. If you want to be successful, you have to be able to look 2 or 3 steps down the line. You cannot live from present moment to present moment to present moment to present moment to present moment. You cannot live in the present and the past. You have to be able to see the future. If you want to build anything, if you want to be a bum, if you want to be a beach bum, sure, you'll be very happy, but you ain't thinking about anything in the future because you ain't got no future to think about. But either way, the issue at this fan base, I believe, is very simple. You have a small portion for the last 8 weeks that was able to remove their emotion from the equation and say, hey, we found a tumor. You know, it's early. We caught it in the early stages, but there's a mass and we have to operate. We got to go in now. I know it's scary. You know, I know that there's the possibility that you could die, but we caught it early. And statistics show if we catch it early, you're going to be okay, right? Then we had the majority of the fan base basically saying, hey, I know that you've just found a tumor, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to drink some kombucha and this shit is going to go away on its own. Simple. Simple. What do you mean? Harvey Elliott's playing in MLS? What? Don't get me upset, Lissetti, please. Don't. It's too early. I believe that the cancer analysis, it was perfect. It was perfect because I look at the way that we play, and even over the last 8 games that we have been unbeaten, which in itself is a disgusting brag. You are a shameful human being if you have said the words 8 games unbeaten. You are a shameful human being. You are a disgrace. You are a terrible person. You are a terrible fan. You are a stain on this football club. You are the problem. You are the tumor. If you have said 8 games unbeaten, you are the tumor. That's right. You are the tumor. If you have said that, you have completely ignored what your eyes tell you. I got into a massive debate with James Redman yesterday. Big up James Redman. But it's this idea that this is somehow progress. It's this idea that this is somehow, which is the new cope, a transition season. People say, "Oh, we got a lot of new players in." I know that we broke 2 transfer records, but we got a lot of new players in. So, it's going to take time. That excuse runs out after about 8 games. That whole "it takes time" excuse, that runs out after 8 games. I even said at the beginning of the season, I'm going to hold judgment. I'm going to wait till, 8 to 10 games in. Then I'll give my judgment. That was the time that you get. We're what, 18 games in now? 19 games in now? Give me a second. How many games? Is that our 18th or 19th game? We're 19 games in now. There ain't no more time. Now, Skull, it's 19. You don't get any more time to adjust. You're over halfway through the season. Sorry, no, you're halfway through the season. You are exactly at the midpoint. You got no more time, you bald fucking bastard. And anyone who's backing the bald bastard, fuck you. I'm on smoke now. I'm done. I'm done with fans. I'm done being a nice guy. I'm done with parlay. If anyone wants to debate me, if anyone is backing Arne Slot, if anyone disagrees with me, let's fucking go. I'll shit on you. I don't give a fuck. I'm done trying to protect people's feelings. I'm going to be a fucking asshole. And the reason why I'm going to be an asshole is because I know I'm right and you are wrong. It's that simple. It's arrogant, 100%. It's arrogant. But the proof is in the pudding. And I'm over this. I'm over this fan base. I'm over these people trying to be positive. It's time to be a negative piece of shit. It's time to call people out by name. It's time to stop the bullshit. It's time to end the gaslighting. Everyone can catch these hands. Everyone. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not going to mince my words in order to respect someone else. You don't deserve my respect at this point because you don't respect yourself. If you support the club and Arne Slot right now, you do not respect yourself. It's that simple. How could I respect someone that doesn't respect themselves? It's very difficult. If you want respect in the world, the first person you have to respect is you, because no one's just going to hand you respect. You respect people who respect themselves. And if you back this manager, you don't respect yourself because you're a cuck. Everyone who is supporting Arne Slot in any way, shape, or form is a cuck. C-U-C-K. Little cuck boy. That's what you are. If you had a wife, you'd let Arne Slot fuck her because you're a little bitch boy cuck. That's what you are. Accept it. I do. You're a cuck. You shit on this club's legacy. You shit on the identity of the club because you refuse to acknowledge anything that your eyes tell you. You know deep down that when you watch this football, this ain't these aren't winners. This guy isn't a winner. This style isn't winning. We're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound in order to save some bald guy's job. I'm pretty sure it was just because I put the word castrated. I put the word castrated in the title, and I also said see you next Tuesday like 45 times. 45 times. So I don't really care. Again, I'm not doing this to grow, or I don't do this I use the same thumbnail. I don't give a shit how many people show up. I do this because I get to say my feelings, and then I don't get to think about it for the rest of the day. It's very therapeutic. Guys, we played like cowards against Leeds. Listen, we're at the point now where statistics, you can't look at them anymore. Because Liverpool had almost 2 XG, even though 0.8 of that XG was from an offside opportunity. People didn't even realize that Hugo Ekitike was offside. When Hugo Ekitike headed that ball wide, he was in an offside position. But it wasn't called offside on the field. However, if it was reviewed, he would have been marked offside. Not to mention the fact, the reason why I know that everyone else is stupid, and I'm going to sound like an arrogant asshole, the reason why I know that everyone else is stupid is because even if we did win yesterday, let's say the penalty on Hugo Ekitike was called. Let's say one of the chances that we made scored. It wouldn't change the fact that the way that we played for the other 89 minutes and 30 seconds would have been putrid. What would have playing like that, what does a win even do? It doesn't do anything. The issue right now is that we still have people who are result-based analysis. This idea of results-based analysis is fucking insane. It is insane. Who are you? Genuinely, how are you a functioning adult? If you are viewing Liverpool as results-based analysis, how are you a functioning adult on planet Earth? Like, what do you do? Do you have a job? Do you have children? Are there people that you look after and take care of? Are these people alive? Because, you clearly have zero sense or zero awareness. So, like, how are you a functioning human being if you're still results-based analysis? Guys, results don't matter. We're not winning the Premier League, so results really don't matter. It's that simple. I mean, Liverpool are 3 points ahead of Chelsea in 4th place. Results don't matter. It's simple. They don't matter. You're also halfway through the season, and you have one good performance in the Premier League. You're halfway through the season, and you have one good performance. Results really don't matter at all. At this point, you are entirely performance-based because you need to build a style of play for Europe. You only have one thing left to play for, and that's the Champions League. Now, I understand the pickle that Arne Slot is in, but unfortunately, Slot, you just need to accept the fact that you're a dead man walking. And if you had accepted the fact that you're a dead man walking, perhaps you would have shown some balls. But this is the problem. This is the problem with a complacent ownership. Complacent ownership, emotional-based fan base. Oh, we don't sack managers. We're not Chelsea. You're right, you're not Chelsea. Because you don't have balls and they do. even though I don't agree with the dismissal of Enzo Maresca. Chelsea have more balls than Liverpool, for sure. I mean, Liverpool have the smallest balls on planet Earth. I don't even think we have balls. I'm pretty sure that Liverpool gets shot up with estrogen before we play. Other teams, they eat foods that increase testosterone. We eat foods that increase estrogen. We're trying to go through menstrual cycles as preparation before we hit the pitch. You know, if the players aren't lactating, they don't have enough estrogen. We castrate ourselves when we play the game. And there's 855 million different facts to prove that, but no one wants to listen to them. We average the most possession in this league, yet we're nowhere near the top in any of the offensive output stats. We're one of the worst defensive teams in the league and in the top half of the league, probably the worst. We have the worst defensive set pieces. We have the worst offensive set pieces. We have the worst press. In fact, we don't even press. We didn't even press leads. At home, we didn't press. We don't press. Why don't we press? Because Arne Slot doesn't know how to press. Arne Slot doesn't know how to set up a team. Arne Slot has completely lost control of everything. And it's unfortunate because I don't think Slot is a stupid guy. I don't think Slot is dumb. I think that winning the Premier League got to his head. I think that winning the Premier League last season inflated his ego. I think it made him arrogant. And I think that when the beginning of the new season happened, you saw that arrogance. You saw it for 7 games. And then when the going went rough, Arne Slot thought that it was just going to be a small patch. So he stayed the course because he's arrogant and he's incapable of seeing the future. And then he dug himself a 6-foot hole. And magically, his players pulled him in maybe a couple inches up, but he's still almost 6 feet into the hole. Arne Slot's arrogance got to him. And the fans are arrogant as well, because if you win a Premier League title, you can get away with murder. Welcome to Liverpool Football Club. If you win me a Premier League, you can get away with any crime, and I mean any crime. And there are many crimes that I can think of right now that would probably get me removed from YouTube. But the initials of the crime are S and A. And he could easily get away with that, 100%, because he won you a Premier League. He could 100% do that. You wouldn't give a shit because he won the Prem. That is the mentality that you have. Anyone who is backing him would basically say Arne Slot could get away with murdering my child because he won me a Premier League. He could murder my kid. I don't care. He won me a Prem. He can do no wrong. Arne Slot's arrogance, the board's arrogance is the reason why we are where we are. Because I even look at these last 8-game runs and I see pure arrogance. I look at his post-game presser yesterday and I see pure arrogance. The man had the gall to say that the only way to break down a low block was with pace. Yet he plays football at the pace of an 89-year-old terminal patient waiting to die. That's the pace that we play the game. Imagine you have a 95-year-old grandfather who had 2 knee replacements, 2 hip replacements, and 2 elbow replacements trying to walk. That is the pace that we play. But we need pace to break down a low block. No. It's all lies. We play a very specific way. We play a very specific way. We play in a way where everyone is in predetermined positions. It's a system in possession in the other half. Players are not allowed to break the system. Players are not allowed to show individual quality. Players have to do what they're told and stay where they're told to stay. We create nothing. We have no off-ball movement. We have no off-ball runs. We have no triangles. We have no silky passes. Nothing. And the defense doesn't have to move. They don't have to move very much. Then when the opposition wins back the ball, we don't press. We don't try to win it back. We run back and we sit in a shell, and then we wait, and then we get the ball back, and then we do it again. Takes us an hour just to build up out of our own half. There are still people defending this manager, and I have lost to Forest at home. I drew to Sunderland at home. No, completely only thanks to Federico Chiesa. I barely beat Wolves, and I just drew to Leeds at home in a 0-0. The first 0-0 in 2 years. Yet people want to defend this bastard. People want to defend this piece of shit. Arne Slot's football is the antithesis of what the identity of this club was for 10 years. It is the total opposite. There is no press. There is no winning the ball high up the pitch. There is no individual quality. It's a flaccid system full of flaccid outcomes. And then when anyone questions him about it, it's a laundry list of excuses. I don't know if you've noticed this, but every single thing that Arne Slot says out of his own mouth is an excuse as to why something didn't work. It's not accountability. It's not responsibility. It's an excuse. It's an excuse. Anfield is a library. There's no such thing as hearing Anfield, Lissetti. Anfield is a dump. It is the shittiest stadium in Europe. It is the worst atmosphere. I'm not going anywhere near there. And to anyone who goes to the ground, you're a fucking disgrace. You're a disgrace. The match-going fans are the problem. They are an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace the match-going fans are. But the fans on the internet are even worse. Because when I look at what the fans on the internet say, they're even dumber than the people that go to the games. How could anyone say anything about any individual in this team? I'm at the point I am no longer going to speak about any individual performance. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to speak negatively about any of our players. I don't care. Because we are officially, I've been saying it for weeks, but if you don't believe it now, you're a fucking idiot. We are officially in a position where we put no one in an area to succeed. This system puts no one in a position to succeed. So I will not say a bad word about anyone, even McAllister. I'm not going to say anything negative about McAllister. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. No matter how bad he's been, I'm not going to say a negative word about him. Because it's meaningless. They're not put in positions to succeed. Let's look at this. See, this is the problem with Liverpool on the internet. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this picture? Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this picture? Anyone? I'll tell you one thing. What's wrong is not that Cody Gakpo ends up shooting this. That's not what's wrong. You have a certain section of the fan base who are idiots, and they're going to say, "Why didn't he play Kirkes?" Well, the fullback didn't bite, and he's following Kirkes. That's why he didn't play Kirkes. You'll have a certain section of the fan base that's stupid and will say, "Why did he cut it and shoot?" Well, if we take a look at this, he can't play Kirkes because the fullback didn't bite. So, oh, I'm sorry. He can't play Kirkes because the fullback bit, right? The fullback went to follow Kirkes. Not to mention, if Kirkes gets the ball, he's got to get past three guys. Cody Gakpo is going to move in. There's four players over here. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in between where the ball is and the rest of the team. Soboslai, who's my midfielder, is occupying the same area as Hugo Ekitike. Soboslai should be here. Someone should be here. Anyone on the team should be here. But again, I've seen this problem every week. I've seen this picture every week. So I know that the manager isn't addressing it, which is why I'm going after him and not the players anymore. I have seen this picture so many times that there's no way that we view film. We don't look at film. Liverpool does not have a film room. We do not watch games back at all, ever. Because if we did watch games back, I don't think that this is the same phase. Is this the same phase? Yeah, it is the same phase. Okay, so watch this. This is 2 seconds before, right? So 2 seconds before. Look at where Soboslai is running. Look at where Connor Bradley is running. Soboslai is just basically running to go fuck Hugo Ekitike. He just wants to hold hands with Hugo. No one wants to come here and be the support. No one. This is 2 seconds before. This is the result. None of the people going attacking the right-hand side of the channel thought, hey, maybe I should come here, and that way if Cody beats his man, boom, I'm here. Nope. Nope, we don't play football here. Why would we do that? I saw this, I liked it. Yes, we're in a 0-0 slugfest with 17th place in the league, but that's 7 unbeaten when Salah's not starting. It's real signs of progress without him. That's what you sound like to all the slot sympathizers. That's what you sound like. Check it out. Another excuse from Arne Slot. I think we've only had one penalty this season, and for a team who attacks in and around the box as much as we do, is surprising. But I won't be encouraging them to do that. He was talking about Hugo Ekitike going to ground, not receiving a penalty. If you're going to rely on penalties, you're a fucking moron. To create chances against the low block, you need pace and individual moments. Okay, so you've said that we need pace, yet you played down the side of the pitch that didn't have the pace. You played 95% of your attacks down the left-hand side where Jeremy Frimpong wasn't. And you didn't do it. Even though post-game you admit that pace is what you need, you didn't even use your pace. So your game plan didn't even match your post-match analysis. And individual moments. Okay, well, you also played in a way that prevented individual moments because you played so slow. So again, your game plan doesn't even come close to matching what you're saying is what you need to beat a low block. The Ekatike chance was 0.71 of our XG, but in reality, it was offside. So we had 0.97 XG at 18 shots, which is 0.05 XG per shot. 0 big chances created at Anfield against Leeds. Do I need to tell you any more? Need I say anything more? Need I say anything more? The copium is here. The copium is here. You're going to hear a lot of people saying 8 games unbeaten. When someone says 8 games unbeaten, I want you to look at them in the face and tell them this.
Would you mind loaning me some of your lipstick, Mom? Because I want to at least look pretty the next time you decide to f me.
When they say 8 games unbeaten, I want you to sing this.
Na 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 na. We're completely fucked, completely fucked. We're completely fucked.
Simple. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, in football, it's a balance between the two. It's a balance between team goals and individual brilliance. But we don't have any balance. You're going to start to hear a lot of people leaning on this crutch called transition season. You're going to hear a lot of people giving a lot of excuses. I want you to look them in the face and say, you take 0 accountability. You are a cuck. I don't care who they are. I want you to look them in the face, and I want you to say, you can have that opinion, but guess what, buddy? You want me to fuck your wife. That's what you need to tell them. You need to look them in the face and say, you want me to fuck your wife. You're a dirty little cuck, aren't you? You're going to hear a lot of excuses. But I don't want you to listen to them because we're not result based anymore. We can't be result based. Everything has to be about performances because we can't win the league. So now it's time to play good football. Now it's time to figure it out. And if you can't figure out how to play good football and you need to castrate us in order to get results, then you got to go. You got to go because we're not improving. We are in limbo right now. We are staying in limbo in order to try to save Arne Slot's job. I don't want to be in limbo. I'd rather be in hell than be in limbo because at least I'd be at my destination. Limbo is the worst place to be. It's the worst place to be because you can't accept where you are in limbo. You could accept being in hell and you could accept being in heaven, but you can't accept being in limbo because you're in between. I'm not going to accept being in limbo. A lot of people will begin to accept being in limbo. And a lot of big creators too. They're going to blow a lot of smoke out of your ass because they're afraid to admit that we suck. I'm not. We're terrible. We are the worst coached team in Europe of all of the top 5 leagues. We are the worst coached team. We create nothing. We capitulate. We hinder ourselves. We handicap ourselves. We blame individuals for systemic problems. We blame Florian Wirtz and we say he had a bad game. It was impossible for Florian Wirtz to have a good game. We blame Ekatike even though we have no fucking eyes. We blame Ibrahima Konate even though he was one of the best passers of the day yesterday. We blame Connor Bradley even though we have no other option. We blame Soboslai. We blame Gravenberch. We blame McAllister. We blame him. We blame him. We blame him. We blame him. You're a fucking idiot. I'm going to ask you guys a real simple question. Let's say you're a father. Let's say you're a father and you have a 10-year-old son. And you tell your 10-year-old son, hey, buddy, I want you to build me a spaceship that's going to take me to the moon. Your 10-year-old son looks at you and says, "The fuck is a spaceship?" You're going to blame your 10-year-old for not building you that spaceship? You gave him the plans. You said, here's the blueprint. Build it. Are you going to blame him? You're going to blame that 10-year-old for not building you a fucking rocket ship? Or are you going to accept the fact that it's a pretty stupid idea to tell a fucking 10-year-old to build you a fucking rocket ship? It's a shitty analogy, but I'm tired. Forgive me. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel. What do you mean we just signed a center back? Not going to do us any good. Who's the new center back? Oh, great. It's for the summer. Yay. Hooray. Yippee. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Hooray. Summer signing. We're looking after the future. Hooray. Yay. So much fun. Man, who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck about transfers. Ain't no one helping this fucking team. There's no one that you could pick up in January. You know, the best thing that we could do is not buy anyone and completely capitulate and just fall back into like 12th. It's the best thing that could possibly happen. Bin the top 4, bin the whole league, just go to nothing, fucking bin the whole season. Florian, listen, you know, magic ankle injury, you're done. Even though you're not actually hurt. Ekitike, you're injured, you're done. You're not actually injured, but you're not playing anymore. Just fucking field the U21s and get me the fuck out of this season. Fast forward to July. Fire Arne Slot. Find someone. Burn it all down. Don't care. Anyway, I've said what I've had to say. I don't want to do any long streams today. I don't give a shit, bro. Ain't no one fucking helping this team. Ain't no one going to help this team because this manager does not prop up players. This manager makes everyone worse. So it doesn't matter who you sign. This manager is going to make anyone who comes into this football club play like shit. There are no solutions other than to change the fundamental ways that we play the game. Until that happens, I don't give a fuck about transfers. You want to know why?
What kind of person to say I told us so? But you know what? I told us so. I told us so.
Because I fucking told you so. That's why. I've been right so far, and you know what? It's time to be a fucking arrogant asshole. I'm done being nice. Fuck all these idiots who support this fucking idiot. Done. I'm over it. Had enough. Everyone who supports him can get fucked. You're all idiots. Simple. Big up to everyone. Happy New Year. I'll be on Hussam's shows. I'll be on Hussam's show later today. Let's close it out with the classics.
All right, Gold Member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only 2 things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
What?
We're back!